Well, folks, I'm going to get started. This is Sneaker Around 336. It's our first webinar, so hopefully this is recording. We'll take some questions at the end if we can figure out how to take questions. Otherwise, we'll use Twitter. So we are Sneaker Around 336. We do pre-orders and we sell bots. Our main product is Link Grabber, and that's what we'll be talking about tonight. So what can Link Grabber do? Here's a short list. Grabs tweets, can launch them in URLs, can add to cart, can do both. Can process early links, search links, countdown links. It'll try to add them to cart as fast as it can. Usually they're not live, so it'll keep searching until they become live, or you stop. ATC Processor. We support unlimited logins for lots of sites. They're on our website. We support restock collection pages, not for all sites. That's also listed on the product page. We do auto-solve Captcha. We do not use a third party. Our app does that on its own. We do send email notifications. We're looking at SMS. We had it before, but it is not free, so we're still evaluating that. And our app is multi-threaded, which makes it very fast. So this is what we're going to cover tonight. Lots of topics here. But essentially, we're just going to go top down in the app, then go over some normal scenarios, and then kind of how it all fits together, and then take some questions at the end. So how to install Link Grabber. We send you an email. It looks like, I'll pull one up. All right. If y'all join, please mute. I'm not sure how to stop people from muting, but so you'll get an email like this. Click this link. It's going to install the app for you. It's going to ask you to validate your Twitter account. It's going to give you a PIN number. You'll have to enter that. Once it's entered, you should get a screen that looks like this. So this is Link Grabber. I'm going to put the notes to the side. Put the app over here. Got feedback on. Let me mute everybody here. So hopefully y'all can hear me. I hear people come in and out, so I'm trying to mute. I'm kind of new to this, so get back to the script here. So Link Grabber is installed. You're running it for the first time. We're going to go through. Let me get back to topics. How to install? We got that. Let's look at the Twitter config page. We give you a lot of out-of-the-box stuff. Users to follow. These are all Twitter accounts. If you want to put a new one in, you just key it in. Nike Store, it'll already be in there, but do not put the @ sign in here. It does not like that. So you can add new accounts. You can uncheck these, and you can remove the ones you don't want unchecked. They will go away, and you won't get them back. So make sure. Same goes for words to track and words to ignore. There's only one caveat to our keywords right now, and that is Nike. They've been doing some weird stuff lately, so we are launching all Nike tweets right now until we figure out exactly what they're doing. We just had a few links on restock that did not go through, and we're not quite sure why yet. So until then, we're just going to keep launching them all. So this is all for just catching tweets. So start, stop. That's all this does. So right at this point, we are monitoring Twitter real time. As long as these shoes are moving, your stream is active. You can also click Keep Stream Alive. What this will attempt to do is if you're not home or you have a network blip or something like that, your stream can die. Twitter API is very sensitive. We've seen a lot of that with our Mac users lately because it is a direct connect to them. So if something happens, it can die and then you lose your connectivity. So you can stop this manually. And you can see it lets you know. So at this point, you are no longer monitoring Twitter for anything. So I'm just going to go through that, go through different tabs, and then I'll show you some demos on how it all ties together. So ATC config, I have lots of accounts here. To enter account, you just, where this little star is, you can just put in your size. I won't go over close. We're doing that for end closing right now, but that's a little much for tonight. So you put your size in, your store. These are the stores we support. Your login, your password. We won't show it to you after you enter in the first time. If you want it to be active or not, and whether you want to be notified or not. If you get notified, it's going to use the email you have entered for all your ATC activity. So you can key those in. You can save them. When you log in, we also save. If you are ever using the app and you come back in here and make changes like to your size, you need to log in again. So when you log in, it's pretty straightforward. Log in active. It's going to look for all your actively checked logins, and it's going to log in. So this is your last login time. Why that's important is some sites time out. They all have different timeouts. So do some muting here. We have a couple options here. Log in on startup, keep logins active. So what that'll do is just log in as soon as you launch the app. I always forget to do that, so it's nice for it to just do it for you. And then we have keep logins active. What that's going to do is through the lifetime of the app, every 20 minutes it's going to just relog you back in. So that's really nice when you're not home. So you don't have to be in front of the computer. You're always going to have a log. An active login if in case something happens. Got a lot of people saying they can't get in. Sorry, this is being recorded, so you can watch it later. Hopefully we can do this better next time. So that's logins. If you need to remove one, just click the row, make sure the whole row is highlighted, and use your delete key on the keyboard, and they'll delete. So ATC Processor, this is for your countdown links, early links, your Nike search URLs, anything that you really want to monitor. I don't suggest that you monitor all the time because you might get blocked because it does process very hard, and we'll show you that later. But all you need to do is put your URLs in here, and that's it. Status is going to do its own thing. It's just for feedback. Logins, it's going to tell you how many accounts you have for this type of URL. So if it's Foot Locker, it's going to see how many Foot Locker accounts you have. And when you click go, it's going to start working. It's going to let you know how many of your logins have been added. And it's going to keep processing until it finds them all or you stop it by clicking this. And you can always save your URLs for later. It's always a good thing to do in case you need to close the app and come back later. Link search, ignore it right now. That will be the link monitor. We started one, but we've kind of abandoned it. So Captcha test, that's something you don't need to worry about. Remote, that's something future. Links found. I got people saying they can't find us. Links found. This is the activity. So when Link Grabber is finding links and working, we always put the links in here for reference. You can always double click on these links. Get a mute here to launch them if you want to. So that's kind of the UI. We also have up top here, launch URLs only, silent ATC, and both. What do these do? If you're monitoring Twitter by hitting start and you have launch URLs only, every time it finds a matching tweet, it's just going to launch the URL in your default browser. If you have Chrome extensions and whatnot, that works good. So we do a lot of launching for sites we can't ATC. If we can't ATC a site, it's because they don't have a remote card. So let's see what else we got here. Silent ATC only. We run this majority of the time we're not home. So what it's going to do is not launch anything in your browser. I gotta mute somebody. Mute. If you guys will do me a favor and just mute yourselves, it'll help me out a lot. I don't know how to unmute to mute everybody. Lost my screen here. All right. So anyway, that's parts of the UI. Both, if you want to do both, you can. So it'll silent ATC. It'll also launch into the browser. And there's no harm in doing both. We do it a lot. You get 2 chances that way. In case for some reason you can't add to cart, or a link grabber can't add to cart, you can use your Chrome extensions or manually try to get the shoe. So what else we got here? Allow retweets, launch all URLs. So allow retweets. We don't normally do that because lots of people retweet the same links over and over. And we don't try to process the same links over and over. Once we find it, it goes into links found. We're not going to try to do it again unless you have selected launch all URLs. Don't recommend you doing that, especially for Nike. They don't like you trying to process the same URLs all the time. You will get, you have added to cart too fast messages, and you're going to miss your opportunity. Flush URL cache. It's pretty much what it is. If you want to clear all your URLs, a lot of people tweet early links, and if you are trying to catch those links and they match exactly, you might miss it. So before release morning, I always recommend you flush that. Just get rid of them so you can start fresh. Check Nike carts. That's exactly what it is. It's just going to give you feedback. We don't have a lot of cart options right now. We're going to work on that so that you can actually edit your carts in the future. But right now, it's just going to find only your Nike accounts and tell you what's in those carts. So you can see I have one item in here right now. All right, let's go over some scenarios. I'm going to start simple and then get into more real world, release morning type things. So launch URLs only. I'm going to add a test account here. All right, let's go grab some links real quick. I'll use Nike for a lot of examples. That's all anybody seems to care about. But we like lots of sites because we like to buy lots of shoes. So like we've said before, and we'll keep saying it, Nike's not the only game in town. We support lots of stores just because Nike likes to keep messing up their releases. So, 1 second. So let me get some links here. Probably should have had some already, but kind of shooting from the hip here. So let's go with something that we know will be in stock. How about these? Yeah, as you can see, that was our Chrome extension working, but I'm not logged in, as you can see. And I'll go ahead and remove this from cart just to remove any skepticism here. So we're going to tweet that link out here. Let's see here. Make sure I'm following. Not. So I'm adding a test user here to my list here. I'm going to stop and start. If you don't do that, you will not be following that account. As you can see in this feedback here, it's going to tell you your list of accounts that you're following. All right, so we're going to tweet here. There's a link. I'm just going to put Katie. So you can see the output here. Let me slide this over. All right. So as you can see, I had launch URLs only. We detected the tweet, popped it up in Chrome. Here we go. We've added a cart. Probably not what you're going to want to do on release day. Probably going to want to do both. I'm going to do a silent ATC now. I'm just going to do the same link. You see I'm not logged in here. Where's my Twitter at? So this will be an example of, you see that I have a link found here. If I tweet the same link, some of you guys have found that sometimes your links aren't detected, and this can be the reason sometimes. If it's already been found before, for whatever reason, you're going to see in the feedback here, it said it found the tweet, but the URL was already launched. The reason we do that is because this program will completely overwhelm your system if we were to launch every tweet that you were catching. Because on release morning, you got J23 app, and depending on how many people you're following, lots of URLs will come through. So I'm just going to flush that. I'm going to do a silent ATC on that same link. And so you can see that was immediate. Here's the catch. Here's the add to cart and all the feedback. So when that happens, you're going to get an email as long as your account is set to notify. So if we go, I gotta log in to this account. Another thing to note, most of you know this, but do not be logged in to Nike when you are on release day if you're using Link Grabber. It will mess things up. You only want to log in when it's time to check out. So you can see I've been testing here, but here's the same shoe. So we've added. You can check out however you want, whether you are at your computer or at the beach on your phone. We like to not be at home on release morning. We like to be wherever we want to be and checking out if we want to. So that's always been our goal. Something else we do with Nike most times is we'll do both. What that'll do is launch the browser and do that silent ATC at the same time. Again, I said earlier, there's no penalty for doing that. Just gives you another shot, especially on very, very hard to get releases. So that's catching links from Twitter. A few things to note on that. Other reasons you may not be able to add to cart. We do a lot of work to unpack links. If you look at Nike store, they do not tweet the direct link, right? They're going to tweet and find like something from this morning. This. What is that? Well, if you'll notice when I highlight this in the bottom, it's actually Twitter is going to mask that URL to t.co. whatever. That's going to get translated. Then it's going to get translated to this, which is really just a bit.ly link. So I'm going to put a plus sign so I can get the real URL. So this is what we really want. And if we can't get this, we can't ATC correctly, or we're going to be throwing a lot of errors to you guys. So we do a lot of work to get the real links out of tweets. So if we can't, for whatever reason, something new or whatever the reason is, we have ways to try to get this direct URL from the tweets. And as long as we can get that, we're good to go. Some other sites make it a lot harder to get this URL from the tweets. But that's reasons that you may see a tweet not get launched or added to cart. You can always look in the output. When you look in output, if you don't see something that looks like the real link, like if you see Nike tweets a lot of garbage all day of marketing stuff, and you'll see link grabber catch it, but even sometimes it'll launch the link, but there's nothing we can do about it. We can't unpack it because they're not using bit.ly, they're using some other marketing third party that don't allow us to unpack it. So for lots of sites, we do a lot of that kind of stuff so that we can add to cart from link grabber because it's faster. It's a lot faster than a browser. We don't have to render the page. We don't have to wait for it. It's really fast under the hood. So that's some reasons you may or may not see something in the output here. So release morning, you can catch the tweets. For Nike, for all these stores other than countdown links, it's usually pretty good, but you're probably going to want to use ATC Processor. So ATC Processor is our answer for Nike switching everything up, getting rid of Twitter link only, for countdown links, for all the other stores like Foot Locker and Foot Action, Eastbay, Champs, whoever. Or you just get an early link. There's a lot of guys out there digging around to get these links. You can't really do anything with them until release morning, but you can put them in here, and you can process them. So All right, guys, are we back? I'm gonna wait till I hear back from somebody here. All right, are we live again?
Yeah.
Awesome.
Do you know if anybody?
Oh, sorry, man. All right, I'm gonna keep this rolling real quick. I'm not quite sure. Everybody, please mute if you can. I have no idea how to mute everybody. I'm going to go over ATC Processor real quick. I was going to get a Nike link here. Grab the style code. So if you don't have a real early link, you can grab this style code, enter it in, hit search. If it's active, it's going to go straight to here, so you can't get the URL you want. What you can do is, if you just want a copy, just put a valid one in, change the number, it'll give you the URL you need. This is what the URL is going to look like for release morning. So just copy that guy, paste it in there. So this is essentially the same thing as a countdown link. It's going to keep processing this until it comes live. Caveat is if Nike screws up the release like they did for the Air Max. This link never went live for the Air Max. We have it in our logs. I don't know when they turned it on, but they were sold out before it went live. What else we got? You can run ATC Processor and link grabber and launch URLs all at the same time on release morning. There's no penalty for that. The only thing that can happen is it rarely happens, but it can happen where you are adding to cart for Nike for the same login, for the same URL at the very same time, and they're going to give you a message saying you are adding to cart too fast. Very rare. For me, I do it anyway, just because I want as many chances to get the shoe when I really want it. So, let me look here. Make sure we've covered a lot of things, and we'll take some questions. Captcha, a lot of questions about Captcha. We do auto-solve Captcha. Our bot does it. We do not rely on a third party. It's all in the bot. I'll see if Captcha's on now. We do have a tab that you guys don't. Let's see if it's running. They usually don't run it the night before, but they were running it this afternoon. So let's see what's going on here. So it is on. As you can see, we failed on the first attempt. Correct on the second attempt. So it is on. And we do solve it. For those that are skeptical, I can show you. Inspectors. So we'll just filter for Nike here. So we'll just do it again. I'll do a math one, a math Captcha. So we'll test it. So you can see here in the trace, we did request a Captcha. They gave us what they gave us, and then we sent a request to solve it. And here's all that jazz. And the answer was true. It gives us a token, and then we can go to work. So we do solve Captcha in the bot, no third party. We can do it fast, as you can see. You know, Captcha is really not the hard part for Nike. So, let's see what else we got here. All right, we're gonna try again. All right. All right. Hopefully, y'all can hear me again. I don't know what's up with Google. Haven't been happy with them anyway. We just switched from them because their enterprise services are garbage. So that's Captcha. You don't have to do anything with Captcha. Captcha happens automatically on restock, happens on tweeted links, AT processor links, whatever. Anytime a link comes through, we're trying to add to cart on Nike, and Captcha hits, we will auto-solve it and continue to auto-solve it until we can get through. There are issues with Nike's Captcha, and we have, since we've figured all this out, have found that they have serious problems with their Captcha servers. And a lot of people have seen the same thing we see on the website, where on a high volume release day, you get asked to solve Captchas over and over and over, even though you're doing them correctly. We have to do that too sometimes. Our theory is their Captcha servers lagging because they're getting hammered so hard that their integration with their third party can't keep up until maybe a few seconds later. By then you've already tried to solve another one. So that can happen. It's out of our control, but we on the back end will keep trying till we get through. So I guess at this point we've kind of gone over the nuts and bolts of it, how it works. I'm going to get one of our partners to field some questions, maybe on Twitter. I'm not sure. I think it's supposed to have an app to do it. So see if there's anything we didn't cover. So if you're on Twitter, go ahead and ask some questions if there's something that doesn't make sense or something we didn't go over. Yeah, you guys can DM or whatever. All right, so do we know if a restock is coming? Best thing to do is have keyword. Well, let me tell you how our bot handles restock, especially for Nike. We do restock for other sites. They're on the product link on our website, sneakaround336.com. But for Nike, We do handle collection pages. So what Link Grabber will do is when it detects a collection page, it's going to try to add to cart every shoe on there. Sometimes that's good, and sometimes that's bad. Like at the last restock, when there's 30 shoes or whatever, that can be bad. So right now, that's all we got. In the future, we're looking at possibly adding some configuration where you can control keywords on a restock scenario, but it is a lot of work. I will say that we missed the Yeezys because of that. We were configured for the Tiffany Dunks on Saturday, still had our box going on Sunday, hadn't changed it, we missed. So there's pros and cons to having lots of fine-tuned configuration. It is very easy to miss when you do that. Let me look at some more questions here. So for Nike, do you need not to follow anybody else? That's what I recommend if you are trying to add to cart. Again, the question was, do you need to follow anybody else when you're trying to grab Nike tweets? I recommend you don't. I recommend you only follow Nike for Nike links. If you have other people you're following that tweet links that you're trying to get, go ahead. But if you think they're going to tweet Nike links that aren't, even if they're early, that's not good. If they're not live when it comes to grabbing links, if you have an early link, it needs to be an ATC processor, because that's the only thing that's going to continue to process it until it's live. So if you think you have somebody who's going to tweet it early, that is going to mess up your Nike tweet, because it's already going to be in your cache. If you don't have launch URLs only, it's going to hit and it's going to see it's already there, and it's not going to add. See what else we got. Test area. Yes, the test area. If you want to test anything in ATC config, what you can do is put any URL in here, and it can be the tweeted links or direct links, and it is going to behave as it would if it caught a link. So if you have launch up here and you put this URL in here, it's going to launch it. So if you just want to test the silent ATC, you're going to have to make sure it says silent. So boom, here it is. There's another thing that I just thought of, and then I see we got some questions on the codes. ATC processor, this is very important, and it's the only caveat in ATC processor, and it's for Nike because they're so special. You're going to notice, let's say you have 2 search links in here on release morning, and then you click go. As soon as that link becomes live, this processing status is going to turn to finished, and it's going to say it's added. It's still processing though. What you're going to see in the output is you're going to see the Captcha stuff happening, and you're going to get a message that tells you that that it is processing it, and you're in line and not to log in yet. And it will continue to check your status in line until it either goes through, or it tells you it's sold out, or whatever the message is. But just for Nike, it's going to say added before it's actually in your cart, because we actually don't know yet. We have to jump through a million hoops before they'll let us get it actually in your cart. So you're going to have to watch your output, and you're going to have to check your emails. And so we had another question about the search link, and I want to do that again. So this URL, how I got it, was just by going to Nike. So if you get the style code, which you can get normally from any the launch calendar, Nike launch calendar. So for instance, let's say I needed to get the link for tomorrow for the 3Lab 5. They're going to put the style code in here. So you can just copy it, go to Nike, put it in the search box, hit enter. As you can see, it's not here. So you just copy it, paste it in here, and you're ready to go. Click save, ready for the morning. So when it's time, you see that I'm searching here. And it's just going to keep searching. So I'll give you an example of a few sites going. So you can see how fast it's hitting Nike. So we're going to stop that. Nike will get mad at you if you do that a lot. So I recommend you not. Let's see what else we got. Keep stream alive. I recommend that if you're not going to be near your computer. It's right here. One thing to note, if it's on and you manually stop your stream by clicking this button, it's going to uncheck that. So if you want it back, you're going to have to manually do that the next time you start. We have to do that because you get caught in a circle of trying to start and stop. And this happened to us and some of you guys, where if you do that too fast, too often, Twitter will block you and you will not be able to get back into the app. And there's nothing we can do about it. Not even us. And it is a pain. You just have to wait it out. So we've put that in there to make sure that doesn't happen to you. So if you hit stop, it is going to stop. If you are not home, you're going to be gone for the day, which most of our customers are. Check it, hit start. It should stay on. I recommend you being hardwired if you're using link grabber instead of Wi-Fi, just because the Twitter stuff is very sensitive. All right, let's see what else we got. Let's see. All right, so on a restock, if link grabber opens a collection page, would you still have to click on the image of a certain product? So if you're doing both, so this scenario would be a restock. Let's say you had it on both, or just launch URLs only, and a restock link hits. What link grabber is going to do is only going to launch the restock link, and you will have to click on the shoe you want if you have Chrome extensions and you want them to add to cart. We do have very simple add to cart for that scenario that we sell, and we do have a restock extension too. However, don't recommend it. We've tried it. It will overwhelm your system if it's a big restock. The Captcha will get all hung up, your computer will get bogged down, and you'll end up getting nothing because nothing will ever finish because your computer just gets bombarded trying to open all those links. So let's see what we got. Will the style code link work every time? It has worked every time except for the Air Max release. So I don't know what they did differently. I don't know if they just had server problems. I don't know how they turn all their stuff live. But at least for the Air Max release, that search link did not. As a matter of fact, by the time it went live, we'd already caught the tweet and got an out-of-stock message. We actually posted it on our timeline that morning. So I can't say it works every time, but it has worked every time except for the Air Max release, which we did get some, by the way. A few customers did manage to get some from the tweet, but that was a very botched release. Yeah. Let's see what else we got. Somebody said Nike will get mad at what? Nike will get mad at your system if you try to do too much too fast with the same login, you will get messages that say basically you're violating our fairness policy, and they won't let you add to cart. That's what they're doing to a lot of cloud services like Amazon and Rackspace and some others where a lot of ATC services really abuse them. Nike just flat out blocked the whole thing. So that's essentially what they'll do to you if you do too much too fast. However, whether you're doing it manually or with bots, they'll say sorry, and they just won't let you do it. We have been tweaking that over time in our bot so that we don't do things as fast as the bot can do it. I don't know if you saw the TISC release. We had that was a collection page when they tweeted. A lot of people got one or two of the shoes, not all three. And a lot of people got that message, which was you're adding to cart too fast. So it wasn't that we didn't solve Captcha. It wasn't that we couldn't get the link. Nike just noticed that that was too fast and wouldn't let us. So we've made some tweaks to adjust those types of things, and we'll continue to monitor that every release. Hey, look, there's Nike Radar app. Let's see what else we got. Question: what happens if Nike crashes while Link Grabber is in the middle of adding multiple sizes to cart? To be honest, I don't know. That's a very technical question. So if you could imagine, that request is going over the wire to Nike. So did it get there or not is really the question. Don't know. I know we won't get a response back that tells us. So my suggestion to anyone is if your bot has made attempts or you've seen it working and Nike blips, crashes, at that point I would go log into your cart and check to see if it got there. Because it could have. It could have actually gotten to them, but not back to us or you to tell you it was successful. So go check. Just word of caution. Anytime you go log into your Nike account to check anything, you have now made Link Grabber incapable of adding to cart for that login again. That's just the way Nike works. So if you do go check out and there's nothing there and you want the bot to keep working, you got to go back into Link Grabber and relog in to get your session fresh. Otherwise, anything that gets added to cart when you've abandoned it like that, you can never get to. You'll never be able to get it in your actual account, and you won't be happy. So let's see what else we got. Early links and from other sites, like multiple links for the same shoe. Okay, so I'll give you a good scenario for tomorrow morning. All right, so ATC Processor, we already have the 5 link for Nike in here, and we have it here for Foot Locker. So all these main core sites like Foot Locker, Foot Action, you know, everybody knows they're essentially the same company. So they're going to all have this same link, right? So let's say we want to get this one. You can just open it. Google's using all my bandwidth right now. All right, so you can just copy it, paste it in. We'll say, we'll give the exact scenario. We wanted this one. All right, so here's the 3 labs. So you can essentially, if you want to, if you like to buy a lot of shoes or you have a reason to, there's no reason you can't cart the same shoe in all these stores. You have a lot of opportunities to get the shoe you want when it is not solely on Nike. As a matter of fact, I dare say with Link Grabber, if you use it right. It's about impossible not to get the shoe when it releases in multiple stores. So you can take this same model number, by the way, just go over to Champs. Let's see what we get. Put that in there. They're not getting it. Let me try the SKU. I can't remember. There we go. Grab the SKU. So here's a direct link for Champs. You can put that in there. You can do this for as many stores as you want in the morning. Just let it fly. Sometimes you'll see this button's text not be quite right. If you can click on it, it's available. If not, you can see it's still working. So you're going to see minimal output from Link Grabber when you're using ATC Processor. We used to have a lot of output, but it was too much. So we don't do that anymore. We're just going to tell you what you need to know. And just know that if it says processing right here, and this button's gray, it is doing this. Cut this filter off. So that's what it's doing for all those sites. You can see Nike, Foot Locker, whatever. So it's working. So stop that. When you stop it, sometimes you'll see errors like this of 500. That's because it was in the middle of something and we canceled the request. Doesn't mean anything. Let's see if we got any other questions here. So the question I just got was, if I put a link in Foot Locker in the ATC processor, will it add the shoe to the accounts assigned to Foot Locker? Yes. So if I come in here just for kicks and say size 9 Foot Locker, I'm just going to copy the same one here. See if we're back. Let's try again. All right. Back to the question, multiple accounts, same. So here's Foot Locker, Foot Locker. If you go in ATC processor, when you hit go in the morning, you'll notice it says logins 2. It's going to try for every single account you have in there per URL. It's just a note that it doesn't necessarily slow your system down, but your system is going to work harder the more URLs and logins you have. So if that's something you're doing, you need to know you need some good bandwidth, good internet, and a good processor. So a lot of people ask about memory. So I'll show you Link Grabber working right now. Where you at? So here it is. Just to give you an idea, it's working pretty hard right now. We're pretty efficient with our memory. We're not, we're trying right now with a bunch of URLs. The memory's not really growing, and it's not going to. It might spike a little bit whenever Captcha starts processing, but computers today, if you got a few gigs of memory, you're going to be fine. What's really going to help you most is CPUs. So more CPUs, the better. higher the internet speed you have, the better. So I'm going to stop that. Okay, got another question. Early link. Search link versus the real link from Nike. So let's go to that. So this guy versus the real link. If you have the real link, don't put this in. There's no need. This just resolves to that link, and you just are going to have a chance of them clashing and then messing up your add to cart. You don't want that. So this, to me, is your last resort. If you have the real link, put it in there. And I'll go ahead and tell you, if that real link's out and everybody has it, you better put it in here. Because they're going to do the same thing with whatever bot they have, or they're just going to put it in their browser, put an extension on that's just refreshing the page as fast as possible with their little add to cart extension. So you need this translation. This actually has a translation, right? You're hitting a search link that's going to have to redirect to the real link. That's milliseconds, but you know, in this game right now, as milliseconds matter. So you want the link if you can get it. Question: what is the difference between our extensions, add to cart Chrome extensions, and the ATCs we have in Link Grabber? Should I specify which I want to buy? It's up to you. So our rule of thumb is, well, I can show you our rule of thumb, right? So if we look at my machine, we have them all, right? Why not? It's a nice fail-safe. You never know who's going to tweet out a link they find. You might be following people like A-Train. These guys find links. They dig up stuff all the time. There's a lot of companies out there that specialize in link monitoring, and they're monitoring every page, however they do it, for SKUs, and it might show up for a size, and they tweet it out. They might tweet it out in a way that Link Grabber can't add that to cart, but it can launch it. So, our fail-safe is we have our Chrome ATC extensions, and then we also have some checkout extensions. And the way that works nicely is, in that scenario, it's going to add it to cart. It's going to go all the way to the end of a checkout process. If you're in front of the computer, you just click submit if you want to buy it. So that's the reason to have it. So just to give you a real example, I'll just go to Finish Line, which, see, that Finish Line doesn't have remote cart. I wish they did. They do release some decent shoes sometimes. But they don't. So Link Grabber can't do it. So I'm going to hit this page. I'm adding to cart. I'm going to go to the cart, and it's just going to go. You can see it's working. Going to PayPal. Don't have my PayPal extension on right now. We have one of those too. But we do have PayPal extension that'll skip through this step, send you right to the submit payment. A few of our checkout bots will actually submit that for you, which is how we bought futures recently that we didn't want. Let's see what else we got here. Hit us up quick. Any more questions? Otherwise, we're gonna call it a night. All right, folks. Well, I appreciate you guys tuning in. We're going to try to do more of these. I'm going to try to make sure you guys can use this product to the best of its ability. If you are not a Link Grabber customer, just hit us up. We'll be glad to get you hooked up. so you can get these releases when you're not home. That was our goal with Link Grabber. First, we couldn't get the shoes we wanted. Second, we got tired of being home every single release, and especially for these random ones like the Yeezys, like they'll probably end up doing for the LeBrons. They say they're going to specify time, but you don't ever know. Might have a box release like the KDs recently. You know, we weren't home when that happened. We said we tweeted from the parking lot. We really were in a parking lot when they hit. That's kind of our goal. Any more questions? We're going to wrap it up and do the giveaway. Text notifications. We had them, and nobody really wanted them, so we got rid of them because they are not free. They're rather expensive, actually. So we'll listen to you guys. Let us know if you really, really want it, and we'll see if it's cost effective. But right now we are doing email, and then just like for our phones, we make that email address, which now is notify@sneakaround336.com. I make that a VIP in my iPhone, and I always pop up those anybody that's in my VIP, so I don't miss it. It's pretty quick. So we'll entertain it. Let us know. But we used to have it. Is there a way to finish line ATC could bring us to cart automatically? Yeah, it can. I don't know if we do it or not. Probably not. But yeah, we could update it to do that. See what else we got. How can you get the what LeBrons for free? You can scam somebody. How about that? All right. All right, guys, we're going to wrap it up. We're going to try to capture everybody that was registered for the event, and we will do a random giveaway, and we will announce it on Twitter. So I appreciate you guys coming out. We'll do more of these. Always welcome your feedback, good and bad. We're always trying to make this product better for you. So good luck tomorrow, and we'll catch you on Twitter. Thanks.